Just like water, let your ideas flow, let your voice flow, let your creativity flow. Do not stop it because water cannot be stopped. Even water behind a dam is still moving, is still trying to find a way past the dam. Virality isn't as important when you realize that the audience you are attracting isn't an audience who you are called to serve. For years and years since I've been using the internet, I remember when I first made my first Tumblr account. I was 12 years old, and the most followers that I ever amassed was 700. And to me at that time, that was a lot, especially as a 12-year-old. I was like, wow, 700 beings in my world. And a lot of times I wasn't even really posting too much about myself. I was reposting art, reposting text, readings. And I think a lot about my 12-year-old self and why I wanted to go viral so badly, why I wanted to have a huge following. And I wanted to be seen, I wanted to be recognized, I wanted attention, I wanted validation. Now, fast forward 16 years later, I'm 28. I've learned no matter where I go, I attract people, whether it's people that resonate with my art, my voice, or want to date me, whatever it is. And so that's already a given. But what I'm most concerned about now as an artist is whether or not the art that I am creating is born out of my values, my beliefs, and if it is pushing people towards aligned action, to their aligned values. And I think about the values that I want to embody in this world. To name a few: honesty, vulnerability, transparency, indigenous sovereignty, love for one's culture and cultural identity. If my art is not reaching those standards, then it does not matter who is watching or following me. I'm gonna say it again. If my creations are not born from my values or beliefs, I don't actually care who is watching, who pays to see me. Because at the end of the day, what we create is for ourselves. And everything that we create is a projection of who we are inside. And if I'm creating something that is attracting an audience who does not embody the values that I believe are important, then it does not matter. It does not matter. I would rather have 20 people who share the same values as me to follow me and continuously support me, even if it is financial, than 1,000 people who simply just watch, never interact or comment, never share how they feel. And I feel like the journey of a creative, and also as a creative entrepreneur, is detaching yourselves from the numbers. Because, yes, money is important, money to fund our living expenses, our ideas is important. But I'm concerned with the quality and who I'm being connected to. When I think about my creative powers, I know for sure that some of the best work I've ever created was made out of when I had the least. Not saying that, meaning the creative work that I've made is one where I was not concerned with who was going to see it. I was concerned with whether I was proud to say that I made this. I look at myself, I look at other people whose work I admire, I look at their numbers, I look at everything. I look at the image that they project, whether it's cohesive, whether it's very clear what they do and what they stand for, what they believe in, what they value. But the game of comparison is such a thief to our joy and to our creative power. Because at the end of the day, like, this is your world, and it's what you create that is the most important. My goal this year, well, I want to discover my deepest creative abilities and to really be unapologetic. I want to perform because I know that I was born to perform. I was born to speak in front of many people. I was born to inspire. I was born to build structures that help the next generation understand that even when all is taken down brick by brick, what we have left is our creativity, and that we can always build again and again, even with nothing, nothing, quote unquote, nothing. Because even in nothing, there is the the infinite possibilities of creation. And so, starting from that place, from the root, is what will propel us towards innovation, towards our future, ensuring that no matter what happens, we have our creativity. We have the ability to rebuild and build new worlds. And that's what I want to offer to artists and healers, especially because the arts and healing are so deeply connected. I don't think I know any healer who isn't an artist. I mean, the healing is an art in it of itself, but we often think of art as drawing, painting, crafts, dancing, and all of those modes are healing. But there is a difference between whether the artist can facilitate healing onto others and themselves through those mediums rather than someone who simply can perform, someone who simply can dance. Because part of what is healing is feeling. And if we, as the audience or recipient of your healing, cannot feel what you are feeling when you are on that stage, when you're presenting that painting or body of work in the gallery, if we, the audience or recipient of that body of work, cannot feel healed from it, then you're not a healer. You can be an artist and not be healing yourself with your art. You can be an artist and not even be healing the people around you. We can be creating art and it doesn't, we can be making art that's beautiful, not every creation yields the change that we want to see. Not every creation will yield healing. Sometimes our creations will yield anger, resentment, pain. The healing is done when we are pushed to heal ourselves, are inspired to create, inspired to transmute grief and pain, trauma into creation. When we transmute trauma, pain into creation, that is healing because we did not allow those wounds to dig deeper and deeper, but we watered the soil in which those wounds were made and allowed it to bloom into something new, into something beautiful. And that's the difference between someone who's simply making art and someone who is a healing artist. Because, yes, anyone can make art. We all make art. We make art every day. We all have the innate ability to create. But to facilitate healing requires that you yourself have healed yourself with your art, with your dancing, with your craft, with your creations. Did you heal yourself with your art? And if not, what is blocking you from that healing? What can be amended? What can be added? Or what can be removed so that while you are transmuting your pain into pleasure, joy, success, what needs to be refined. And I think that depends on the artist, the healing artist's mission. What is exactly the change that they are destined to make? Because a person's destiny isn't always going to be what they are seeking. A person may be seeking fame, status, wealth, but their destiny is something larger than that. Their destiny is to change the world and to make their imprint on the world. And what exactly is your imprint? What is your imprint? While establishing your imprint on the world can bring you fame, success, and wealth, those things can also still be shallow.